What's going on, everybody? Let's get it. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of Talkin Sports with Big L. All praise the Public Enemy. Thanks Shockley and the Bomb Squad for their music. Of course, I don't own the rights to any music. And well, we might as well go ahead and talk about that beatdown in DC yesterday. Once again, all praise to Hank Shockley and the Bomb Squad. Let me go ahead and turn this down. And I want to say thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Give me just a moment here to set some things up so that I can get these comments here. All right, and there we go. All right, well, see, we got a few people watching, so let's go and get it up there, man. There it is, beatdown in DC. That's exactly what it was. It was a clear-cut beatdown by the Washington team. Please excuse me if we got some technical difficulty going on. I'm trying to fix it for the past hour. But anyway, man, it was a clear beatdown. Washington's defense just kept that Dallas offense on its heels and on its back all game long. Anytime we did try to muster up a drive, it turned into an interception in the red zone. Another turnover. I think it was a pass to Zeke. Pass was behind him, but he did try to catch it and didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. Yeah, yeah, Timmy. I see you, bro. The offense is a little ass right now. But let's get into it a little deeper. It was a terrible display by the Cowboys on every facet of the game. Offense, defense, you name it. Terrible. Completely terrible. They just didn't show up, man. I don't know. I just didn't. You see a team out there, they're not playing. And when I mean they're not playing, they not playing with any enthusiasm, any fight. Same issues we've had all season defensively. We're getting beat deep. Getting beat deep and getting beat often. It looks like Diggs is the only one out there fighting, but this kid, he comes from Alabama, so he comes from good stock, but he's getting roasted every week. And it was terrible. It was terrible. Yeah, I hear you, Stu. It's pretty much over, bro. It ain't in me to throw the towel in, but it's pretty much over, man. But we're gonna dig into it, man. So let's first get into like I said, the score. They beat us 25-3. It was I think it was 22-3 at halftime. And they, for the most part, couldn't get anything going in the second half. But by then, it was over. They really checked out. Cowboys did. And like I said, the Washington team was licking their chops. That front four, Chase Young and Kerrigan and all those guys, man, they were eating. And they were eating all day. Run game was not non-existent. Zeke had about 12 carries, I think, which is just terrible. CeeDee Lamb, no catches. Michael Gallup, no catches. Amari Cooper had some catches, but man, it was terrible. It was a terrible performance, and we ain't even got to the cheap shot hit, which we all know it was a cheap hit. Andy Dalton left the game with a concussion. Pretty much, I don't expect Andy Dalton to be playing this week. I think Andy Dalton will be out for this game at Philly, and he's going to be out. I'll say he'll come back the following week, but I'm not looking for him to play this week. And Cowboy Nation, you shouldn't look for him either. He was never comfortable in the pocket. Of course, we have a Band-Aid as an offensive line right now. And as I said, we can't get the running game going. We can't throw the ball. We can't run the ball. We can't play defense. We had a big return on special teams, but even that didn't go all the way to the end zone. So, and we just a bad football team right now. There's no excuses that we as Cowboy fans can make for it. We can hold on to hope because this division is just terrible. But it's a thing where even at 2-5 right now, we're sitting just a half game out of first place. That says a lot about how terrible this division is. So we still have an opportunity, but without good quarterback play, without an offensive line that can't even be decent, there's really no shot for us, man. There are some people out there that the Cowboys could go and look and get. There's one guy that, I've made my opinions about it very known that they should go get, and I really don't think they will. Matter of fact, I know Jerry Jones won't do it, but they really need to do it. But if the front office ain't going to do anything to help and make this thing better, it's all we can do as fans is just sit back and take it. Take the trash talk and all of that. But as I said, Andy Dalton left the game with the hit. It was a cheap shot, and I look for the Washington defender. I forget his name right now. I look for him to be fine. Well, I'm sure he's gonna get fined. He needs to be suspended. I don't think he'll get suspended. And a big reason for that is it was Andy Dalton. Had that been Dak Prescott, probably would have got suspended, but it's Andy Dalton. Don't look for him to get suspended. And I know that's probably not the most politically correct thing to say, but hey, it's the truth. This league is going to they're going to protect those stars, and quite honestly, Dak was a star. Like him or not, he was one of the faces of the league that said all the right things, did all the right things. That's why he was in all the commercials. But as I said, it was a bad hit. Andy, if you were watching the game and you saw the hit, you knew right away Andy was asleep. I mean, his helmet popped off, went rolling. He did get up and walk off the field. Of course, he was helped. But as I said a few minutes ago, do not look for Andy Dalton to play this week against Philly. Even if they clear him, you would have to be skeptical of them letting him back on the field. And I want to talk about the team there for a little bit. If I can pull up more stuff here. As I said before, you had no offense, no defense, and you just had no effort from this team. It was like they've given up on these coaches, and it looks like they've given up on each other. You know, Andy Dalton takes that cheap hit. Not one, the offensive line don't even come check on him. They don't, that there's a certain thing, there's unwritten rules in the game of football. You don't go at a player's knees on purpose. Somebody go after your quarterback, somebody cheap shots your quarterback, we all fighting. We all gonna get kicked out. It's things like that, man. And yesterday you didn't see that from the Cowboys. You did not see that from the Cowboys. As Andy Dalton laying on the ground after that cheap hit, man, you just didn't see these Cowboys do anything except stand around like, oh, is he okay? It should have been a scuffle, in my opinion. I just know from my days of playing and like I said, there's unwritten rules to the game. Keep your head on the swivel, things like that. Anybody that's played the game, they know. Moving on, though. The Washington team, I ain't going to call them great. They're not the greatest team in the world, and their fans will tell you that. But yesterday was a big game. These two teams are a rivalry, no matter how good or bad they are. And yesterday, they laid the wood on us, and they laid it on us hard. So all I can do is take my hats off to their fans. They got every right to talk trash, and my brother's definitely talking trash to me. But hey, Cowboy Nation, all we can do is take it. Oh boy, and like I said, these players, man, it just looks as if they've given up on the fans, the coaches, and each other. The story has been that the defense is not getting the scheme. But what I'm seeing is it's not scheme. It's effort. Scheme, I can tell you where to be. I can show you where to be. Draw it on the chalkboard, whatever. But your effort is you getting where you're supposed to be. You're covering the guy you're supposed to cover. It's about your effort. And last week these players did a lot of complaining and pointing finger at the coaches, saying the coaches were not good at their jobs. I mean, perhaps that a lot of these players ain't good at their job. A lot of these guys that's making a lot of money, maybe they're not good at their job. Maury Cooper, I know you had some catches, but you're supposed to be a difference maker. Zeke, you're supposed to be a difference maker. I know that offensive line is banged up and terrible, but we supposed to be able to get through that. We supposed to show some kind of fight. DeMarcus Lawrence, you've been a no-show all season. You was a no-show last season for the most part, but you've been a no-show this season. Jalen Smith, still looking lost. poor tackling, getting blocked. Dontari Poe, we thought that was a great sign in the offseason. He's getting pushed off the ball. Secondary, I mean, every week we see the secondary get burned deep. And when I say they get burned, they get burned. They on fire. Toasted. So, we blame Jason Garrett for a lot of things. Now we got to start looking at players. And I said this last week. I'm saying it again. We got to start looking at some of these players. And maybe some of these high-dollar players. I know a lot of players, some that are under contract, going to be off limits to trading or cutting because you can't take that cap hit. Guys like, I'm not saying we need to move on from Zeke, but I can really see Zeke being cut or released or maybe traded. And maybe next year, maybe 2 years. Unless, we can get this thing turned around, because this offensive line is in shambles. You went from having an offensive line full of Pro Bowlers to Connor Williams being your best offensive lineman, and Connor Williams is really the weakest link when you've got your starters in there. Right now you've got guys you never heard of playing offensive line. Zeke can't do so much behind that offensive line when they getting pushed off the ball. And like I said, it's been a bad year for Zeke. Zeke's got some turnovers and drops, and yesterday he got blowed up trying to pick up a blitzing linebacker. So it's about effort, man. I know Zeke is a much better player than what he's showing right now. I know Amari Cooper's a much better player, even though he's making catches. But it just ain't the same when we got him. DeMarcus Lawrence, since he got paid, nothing. He hadn't lived up to the check. And so, if these players are mailing it in, they already got the golf clubs in the trunk. Then, they quitting on coaches. And they're quitting on the fans. They're quitting on us. And as far as the coaching is not the greatest in the world. We had Zeke had a pretty good run yesterday, and we got to like a 4th and 1, and Kellen Moore calls a pass rather than hand it back to Zeke. The play calling is terrible. Mike McCarthy, as I said yesterday in my rant video, he gonna find himself out of a job if he continues to let Kellen Moore call plays for him. Mike McCarthy, this is what you do. You are the offensive mind. This is what you do. Play calling is supposed to be your thing. That's why you were brought there. So, you need to get that play calling back. Take over the play calling. You're the head coach. It's your ass on the line when this team performs the way it has thus far this season. We are this close from being 0-7 in a terrible division. And even when we were 0-7, we still wouldn't be too far out of first place. So, message to Mike McCarthy, man, you got to do something. You got to make some moves. You got to snatch that play. You got to smash that headset away from away from Kellen Moore. Send him upstairs in the booth, but you need to call your own plays because it's your ass on the line. And let's move it on. You know, I'm gonna get you guys out of here so you can go check out the game. I'll give you an update on it pretty soon, but let's talk about who's going to be playing quarterback for Cowboys. It's Mr. Ben DiNUCCI. I've never heard of this guy before, other than training camp, stuff like that. But you had Dak, so you never thought this guy was going to end up on the field. But now he is the starter, and he's got an opportunity here to, the Eagles ain't the greatest in the world themselves, but their defense is pretty stout. Ben DiNUCCI, you have an opportunity to become a made man, my friend. So Benny DiNUCCI, I need you to bring your A game. I know you're being thrust into the spotlight, but it's time to put your big boy pants on now. Because I guarantee you, Fletcher Cox, sorry about that, and the rest of that defense from the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be coming, and they're going to be coming hard. And with this offensive line, you ain't going to have a lot of time to hold that ball. So you're going to have to make quick decisions and get that ball out. This is where the coaching comes in at, where they need to game plan to help this quarterback to be successful, get him in a rhythm early, and we really need to find a way to run the ball. That's going to be the main thing to help Ben DiNUCCI, Andy Dalton, or Dak Prescott next year when he comes back. We have got to find a way to go back to establishing the run. But Ben DiNUCCI, don't know much about him. He came in and he had one good pass yesterday, but he came in, did what he could, which wasn't anything. So hopefully with a week of preparation, he'll get his thing together, and we at least got to give the Eagles a fight. Right now, like I said, the Eagles are probably licking their chops, ready to blow us out. We got to fight. We got to find some kind of fight in us. Of course, if we go out there and we play like we did yesterday, it's liable to be 40-0. It really is. So Ben DiNUCCI, it's on you, bro. Time to step up. And they're getting back to the quarterback position. It's right there on the bottom of your screen. And I've made my opinions very vocal on that. And I'm going to talk about it again. I actually had some... I was trying to get it where I could bring him up on the screen and behind me, but that I was having some technical difficulties and stuff. But there's absolutely with the Cowboys, with us being on quarterback number 3. With us being on quarterback number 3, there's absolutely, positively no excuse. And I mean absolutely no excuse for us not to get in touch with Colin Kaepernick. It is do. He could. I'm not gonna say the guy could, is gonna come in and change the world, but he can't do any worse than what we've got going on now. He really can't. I know that he hadn't been in the league in a while, and I'm sure he's gonna need the opportunity to get in shape. There it is behind me. You see it. He's going to need every opportunity to get in shape, which I actually think he's probably in some type of shape. But it is imperative for us to give him a serious, very serious phone call. This is an opportunity where, first of all, let me say this. Any team that signs Kaepernick, or that were to sign Kaepernick, you have to understand there's going to be a huge media circus around that team. Because everybody's going to be talking about, the political views and him taking a knee and this and that and yada yada. That's going to be the main thing everybody's going to be talking about. If there's any franchise that's big enough and strong enough to handle huge media pressure, it's the Dallas Cowboys. We're getting our asses handed to us week after week, and we're in a huge media storm now. Bringing Colin Kaepernick in for a serious workout, not some bullshit that they did, a year or so ago in Atlanta, but a serious workout. And I mean serious, like, hey, Colin, come in, work out for these coaches over here. We're going to go over here and get your uniform and your locker and stuff ready, because we ain't letting you leave this building. That's the type of seriousness I'm talking about. It is, as I said, there's no excuse. There is no excuse why not to give him a call. I mean, the Washington fans, they real hype right now, but just remember, it was just a week ago they was having, they wasn't too crazy about their quarterback situation. They are now, this week. But, it'll go back to that. It'll go back to the same thing next week and the week after. And be that as it may, we got our own issues. Colin Kaepernick is definitely an option. You don't have to give up anything. He's a free agent. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call him and talk seriously to him, because he ain't going to fall for the BS. Also, if you don't want to talk to Kaepernick, FITZMAGIC is out. FITZMAGIC, he's on the bench right now. You could probably give up a fifth-round pick and get FITZMAGIC out of Miami. But keeping it on Kaepernick, this is a perfect opportunity for him to get back in the league. Now, as I said before, I really don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it. In fact, I know Jerry Jones is not going to do that. This is the one headline that Jerry Jones runs from. Jerry Jones is always in the headlines. He's always front and center in front of the reporters and the TV cameras. This particular topic is one that he constantly runs from. bringing in Colin Kaepernick. I can guarantee you there's been a ton of people besides myself saying bring in Kaepernick. But it won't happen. I would love to see it happen. I would love to see this guy get back in the league. But right now, I would love to see him in that Cowboys uniform. There's no excuse why we can't give him a call. There's no excuse why we can't bring him in and get this thing going. And maybe, just maybe, because our division is so terrible, you know, he may be able to make some type of a difference. We don't know unless we bring him in and see, but I honestly feel that he could make a difference. I honestly feel like he could make some type of a difference once he gets comfortable. He's got the guys on the outside. He's got a running back. He just simply needs an offensive line, a decent offensive line. And we've had these offensive line issues for a couple of games, and this front office does nothing. They do nothing. Which, you know, Steven and Jerry, as I said, they're always front and center doing interviews and shit. And, of course, they're going to stand behind Mike McCarthy. They're going to stand behind Andy Dalton. And, of course, they're going to stand behind Ben DiNUCCI. I expect them to do that. But, and only Cowboy fans are going to understand this. Before Stephen Jones kind of started having more say-so, everything went through Jerry. And if Jerry wanted a player, he went out and got him. There was never any type of contract disputes or anything like that. When Jerry wanted T.O., he went out and got T.O. When Jerry wanted Deion Sanders, he went out and got Deion Sanders. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. Jerry Jones was this close to getting Ray Lewis. But Ray Lewis chose to stay in Baltimore and finish his career there. You know, when we had DeMarcus Ware, who was a definitely first ballot Hall of Famer, we made the decision to let him go. I'm pretty sure Stephen Jones had some say-so in that. The thing about Jerry's loyal to the guys. He's loyal to his good players. Stephen, not so much. And it's just my opinion that Stephen is, you know, that's probably why Dak couldn't get the contract that he wanted, because of Stephen rather than Jerry. But Jerry being the top dog, of course, Jerry gets the heat. But that's just my opinion. You really have to follow Cowboys to understand where I'm coming from. You can't just be some BS fan of another team and go on what you hear on the headlines and things like that. Such as this contract, such as this comment right here from a Patriots fan who doesn't understand that Emmett, even though he did hold out, Emmett actually came back. He settled for less. See, if you do your research, you know. Stop looking for ESPN to give you the answers. But anyway, like I said, Steven is going to be the one that's going to take over in the future. We all know this. But as I said, you know, when Jerry wanted things, he went out and got them. He went out and got him. They also won the Super Bowl that year. Keep that in mind. And I'm talking to that Patriots fan who used to be a Cowboy fan. So he says. Anyway. Jerry just has a knack for getting things done, in my opinion, over the years that I've been a Cowboy fan with Jerry Jones as the owner. Of course, I was a Cowboy fan long before Jerry Jones. But giving Steven some powers, I know a lot of people make a thing about Jerry wanting to draft Manziel and Steven talking him away from it. That's one time. Can we let that go? You know, what really else has Steven done? You know, he's the voice of reason, but or at least he's supposed to be. But what big deal has he made happen? You know. And another thing, if I would like to see Jerry give Will McClay the GM job. Now, for those of you watching who are not true Cowboy fans, Will McClay is the man behind the scenes who kind of finds all these players. He's responsible for a lot of the players that we currently have, a lot of players that we have in the past. He's kind of the brains that finds players. And like I said, true Cowboy fans know this. There's really we know Steven's going to take over, but let him wait his turn. Let him wait his turn. Oh. And like I said, man, we can do something about this quarterback situation. And as you can see on the screen, it's always a fan of another team that likes to troll. They'll study all this, but they don't know. Y'all take your time and read that. Truth of the matter is, the Cowboys won. Emmett settled for less than what he was holding out. But I'm just a lifelong fan. He's a used-to-be fan. Anyway, moving on. Got the Eagles this week. And the Eagles are licking their chops. Like I said, that front line is going to be coming hard. So hopefully these guys can pull something together and pull it out of the hat. Like I said, the division is terrible. It's still winnable. But a lot of things are going to have to change. And a lot of things are going to have to turn around. Coaching staff, players, ownership, front office people, everybody's going to have to come together and get on one accord and work these things out. You know, trade deadline's coming up, I think, next week. It's an opportunity for some moves to be made. I think really we need to go and get a quarterback in there. I just gave you one big option. He's sitting right there behind me right now. I don't think it'll happen. I know it won't happen, but that's an option. That's a serviceable option. And as I said, you got FITZMAGIC in Miami. 5th or 6th round pick. You can get him. Tyrod Taylor's out there in San Diego. You can probably get him. So you have some options out there if you want to go away from Andy Dalton or well, it still remains to be seen how long he's going to be out. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna let y'all go. And you guys go and watch the game. Enjoy your evening. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in, commenting, I want you guys to, if you're watching on YouTube, watching on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel. Smash up that like button. And please, by all means, set your notifications to all, so that way you know anytime I'm posting any type of content, you will be notified. If you are part of the Facebook page, please share it. Hit that like button if you know some Cowboy fans or just sports fans in general who want to hear some content. Of course, it's going to be biased. Send them my way. I'll take care of them. And I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Like I said, it's a great Monday. Well, if you're a Cowboy fan, it definitely ain't a great Monday. But hey, I'm almost through my 48 hours of after a loss that I need to calm down. So by morning I should be okay. But I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all stay on my case about doing this, so I had to come out and get this content to you. So y'all have a good day, good night rather, and be easy. I'm out.